My name's Jona, and today we're going to be looking at a card game called Maeshowe. Maeshowe is a 1 to 2 player co-op game. It plays in about 15 minutes and it's recommended for ages 12 and up. It was published by Dragon Dawn Production Games, and this game was kindly gifted to me by the publishers. This game is themed around escaping an ancient tomb, and it's based on ancient records that are of events that actually happened, where some Vikings got stuck in the tomb and they found treasure. There's other evidence of another group of Vikings that got stuck in the same tomb and they actually went mad. In this game, there's going to be a deck of cards and you're going to have a hand of 5 cards, which you'll replenish at the end of each turn. On your turn, you get to play 1 card into the row, which is in front of you on the table, and you get to play 1 card to discard. Different actions will happen depending on where you decide to place these cards. The goal of the game is to remove the passageway tokens on the board. To do this, you must play 4 excavation cards, one after the other. When you do this, you get to remove 1 passageway tile. If you have matching runes on your excavation cards, then you get to remove 2. Now there's a whole bunch of other cards in this deck that will either take away health from you or give you opportunities to get more health. Once the deck is depleted and you can't play any more cards or discard any more cards, the game will be over. The game is also over if you run out of health. If you deplete the deck and you have a hand of 5 cards and all the runes match, you can go mad. Going mad allows you to replenish the deck with your hand of cards in the discard pile. When you do this, you remove 1 health from the game and you also lose 1 health. Then you play the round again and you cannot go mad a second time. If you're able to remove all of the passageway tokens, then you will be the winner and have escaped from the tomb. If, however, you either cannot play or discard a card or your health goes down to 0, then you will have lost. If you're playing with another person, then each player gets their own health track. You share food, and you also share the row in front of you, but you have your own discard piles and your own hand of cards to play. And you are playing as a team to get out of the tomb. There's also this Jarl token, which is for the 2-player variant only. You can pass it to the other player if you do not want to play or discard a card on your turn. If either of your health goes down to 0, you both lose the game. There's also quite a few cards in an expansion deck, which you can add at your discretion to add a little variety to the game. So the things that I liked about this game is that it's super quick to set up and tear down. It's a quick playthrough, so if you want to do it again, it's very easy to do so. The challenge level is easy to adjust because you're just adding additional passageway tokens depending on how hard you want it to be. And if you want to play with another person, the setup is just as simple. Now, part of that simplicity is the things I don't like about it. It seems to go from like super easy to difficult, where you almost can't win. Maybe it's just my lack of experience playing this game, but that's a little bit how it felt. I also found that there wasn't enough variety and challenge. You're just trying to get 4 in a row and negate losing health. Now there are all those expansions that you can add, those expansion cards to add variety. Honestly, I didn't play all of them. So you may find that there's a lot more variety there that I haven't explored yet. The things that didn't really work for me was the theme and the imagery. It's a very grim subject, and the imagery is very dark, grim, and kind of grotesque. Although the artistic style itself is quite beautiful, but I just don't like looking at some of the pictures on the cards. But I think as far as iconography and understanding what the cards do, it's very readable and works well in that respect. For sustainability, Maeshowe gets 6 eco-friendly stars. The first one is for having a sustainability statement. I actually got to speak personally with one of the men behind DDB Games, and he was able to share with me how much they really care about the environment and making things as eco-friendly as they can.
So what we have decided to do for the ecological choices is that we decided not to do plastic inserts, which are essentially quite often something that you throw away. Any place where you can cut the plastic away and use something else would be something that I consider personally as an interesting choice and worth of trying. And then Two other things where we have kind of decided to go on the ecological side. All of our products are using matte printing, so that it doesn't have the normal glossy surface, and that typically means less chemicals and a little bit different manufacturing materials. And wherever it's possible, we are using what is called wood-free paper on our manuals and things like that. It is essentially recycled paper.
The second star is because this game has no plastic board game components. The third star is because they reduced the overall environmental impacts of the game by reducing the size of the game. It's a little bit taller than a DVD, and I think it works brilliantly for what this game holds. It's great for storage, and also because it's such a slim size, you're reducing the amount of shrink wrap that's involved in packaging, and basically packaging all together is reduced because of how small the box is. I think this is really great. I hope to see more board games in this size. The fourth star is because they used biodegradable packing peanuts. They're made from cornstarch and they actually dissolve in water. The fifth star is because there's no UV printing on this game. UV printing adds plastic to the printing process and it breaks down into a microplastic after time. So I'm always happy to see when they don't use that. And finally, the sixth star is because they had no plastic box insert. This game is a great example of doing things in an eco-friendly way, in an achievable way. They weren't able to use FFC certified paper, and they did manufacture in China, and yet the final product is more eco-friendly than the typical board game out on the market. Overall, Maeshowe gets 3 pips out of 6 for me. I think it's a fine game, but it just wasn't for me. I'm not a big solo gamer. If I had to choose solo over 2-player, I would choose the 2-player variant. I just find it more interesting. However, my husband wasn't a big fan of this, so unfortunately I probably won't be playing this very much just because I would prefer to play another game with my husband rather than play this by myself. But I can see how a lot of people would really enjoy it. And I think that the way that they produced the game was really well done. Thanks so much for watching this review of Maeshowe. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.